Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. Yeah.
Y'all saw the dancing that went on off air. That's bad stuff. So it feels like it's been a minute.
It does. It's so funny you said that. I was just thinking that. I was like, when was the last time we did a podcast? But it does feel like it's been a while though.
It wasn't that long ago. So I'm Herb. He's Rodg. If this is your first time tuning in. If it's not your first time tuning in, I'm Rodg. He's Herb. Just to mix things up. But
yeah, I'm Herb.
Hey Rodg, how you guys doing tonight? How you guys? Alrighty. So anyway,
I don't know what that was. Go ahead.
we not our finest moment. So let's say hello to the people tuning in. What's up, Carol? Didn't wear evening gown for the awards. Well, Carol, we were gonna present you with the award for our favorite Georgia fan. So it's okay that you're doing that. You're gonna win that anyway.
We appreciate you for joining us, Carol.
Yeah, no worries. There we go. What's up? Roll Tide
in the building.
I mean, unless you put it out there, we can't confirm that, right?
Lady Alpha, we need a video of you dancing. Come on.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to do it. Yeah. Oh, I should have downloaded our. I'm gonna see if I can get that while you're giving one of your long-winded answers. If I can get that.
Wow. Okay.
What's up, man?
Appreciate you for joining us. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Mike, I love the intro, man. I love the intro, man. So appreciate you so much.
We do. Big Mike, aka the maestro behind the scenes, aka Michael, aka Big Mike that does the rest of the running wrestling pod, aka
Big Chris.
Big Chris, yes.
There you go. So and Carol, I would love to think. And Lady Alpha, I'm skipping your comment because I'm translating it. Anybody who's not watching that and can't see your comment, Lady Alpha said she's about to upload that dancing video. So there we go.
Yes. Okay.
Great harmony there, guys. Thanks, Win. We appreciate
you, Win.
Yeah.
And the other house.
And I was over there doing the same thing, going over with JB. JB is down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. A lot of good content there. Usually it shows at 9, so we don't kind of run into each other. But I highly recommend you check out his stuff. If you got to jump over there and at least jump back and give us a comment, give us a like and subscribe while you're over here. But JB was
we support JB.
Yes. He was a big help to us when we first started out. He had questions behind the scene, and then anytime we've asked him to jump on, man, he jumped on. So we definitely appreciate JB. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that dancing video uploaded on here in a minute, Rod. So, all right, we said we're gonna do our award show for Alabama, of course.
Yes.
We did want to start off with a segment though that we kind of. Usually Bama Beat is on here and he gives his grades and he kind of gave his end of the season grade, but we kind of want to, you've had a couple weeks to marinate on it and kind of, look at it, see what you think, see about the season. Obviously the season didn't end the way we wanted it to, but there's some good and some bad to take from it. So Rodg, I'm going to ask you to not stall for a minute, but also just kind of get this thing going.
Of course.
We're not going to get as in-depth as we usually do with Bama Beat. So we'll just do units as a whole. But
it's funny you said that because right when you brought it up, I was like, "Oh man, I don't have the roster in front of me." Blah 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 blah. But no,
that's a Bama Beat thing, man. All respect to him, man. He's the guy that can break it down. He's always got all that stuff, man. So I always appreciate him. We leave that full segment to him when he's here. But we'll do ours a little more general. So let's start with the offense as a whole. And you can get into specific positions if you like. Okay. But offense as a whole.
Okay.
What do you give their grade for the year?
Offense as a whole. For a complete season, I'm going to go with the C+. I feel like the beginning of the season, the first 4 games, if I had graded it through those first 4 games, they'd get an A- to an A. But seeing what happened from the Vanderbilt game, especially the Tennessee game, is what really, really rattled me. The lack of offense there, and then some other games just kind of threw me off. And not being able to see how our other playmakers can produce also bothered me throughout the season. And again, as far as the receivers and the running backs, it's hard for them to show what they can do without having the ball in their hands. So with that being said, I don't know if you want to blame the coordinator, blame Milroe, blame whoever you want. The season's over. I'm going to give the offense a C+. Again, I feel like I could have seen better production had the ball been spread around more, and we would have had a higher grade.
Yep. So you do mention that, Rodg, and so you might as well delve into a little bit. How much do you put on? Let me preface this by saying we are going to have like a little Milroe segment somewhere in here. I was hard on him at the end of the year. I'm going to try to get away from that. Man, he was a Bama quarterback, and we need to support him as much as we can. My feelings. These are my feelings, folks.
Right.
However, if we disagree, that's fine. We take it whatever direction. But how much of it do you put on Milroe, and how much of it do you put on the coordinator?
Again, in my opinion, I feel like it's always 50-50. I feel like, yes, the coordinator is the one who's going to instruct the plays and call the plays out. I get it. But as a quarterback, you have to, especially at a collegiate level, you should be smart enough to read some defenses and know that, hey, even though a play was called, I should know what to do with the ball after I'm taking a look at the defense. It's kind of like if you send someone to the grocery store with a grocery list, you would be the coordinator, right? The person actually getting the groceries is going to be the quarterback. If they come back with the right stuff, cool. It's a 50-50 win-win situation. But if they come back with something wrong, you might have to put that on the quarterback. So I feel like it's 50-50. And, I mean, it's a really good question because we've heard different people's views. Some people blame strictly the coordinator. Some people blame strictly Milroe. I split it up.
It's funny that you say that because whenever I have to go to the grocery store, which we order a lot of ours, when I have to go to the grocery store, I have a list in front of me, names, or when I get it text, it's all the names and a picture of them.
I need pictures. I need pictures. And one other thing, while we're on the topic of grocery shopping, how do you do your grocery shopping by going aisle by aisle and just getting what everything's in order, or do you just go walk around the grocery store just grabbing things that are on the list? I just walk around the grocery store grabbing things from top to bottom.
Okay, so from now on, you're not allowed to criticize any more coaches or players or coordinators if you're just kind of like. So basically what you're saying is the coordinator is giving you the playlist and saying these are the 4 plays, and you run those plays in any order that you want.
Listen, when I get the grocery list, it could be ketchup, apples, diapers, and something else. I'm not just going to get if I walk in this store, I'm not just going to get what's on that side. I'm going to go get what's the first thing on the list and get that. Where's the second thing on the list on the other side of the store? I'm going to get that. Where's the other thing on the other side of the store? That's how I do. I just do it in order like that.
When I look at the whole list first, and I try to see where everything is on there, right?
I don't do that.
And I try to think of where everything is, and I try to group them ahead. But I'm also older than you with a bum knee, so I ain't got time to be running around a grocery store for hours. I'm getting them in order, and the pictures better be on there. So
yes, I do need the pictures.
Have one of our favorite folks in here. One of the few Brian, Oklahoma fans we haven't disowned. Brian, man, always good to see you, sir.
Yes.
Glad to see you
Brian.
Feeling better for
yes.
Brian's a good guy, man. Brian's a guy. He's always going to shoot you straight, but he's got a good heart too, man, and just one of our favorite people.
Yeah.
So,
Always
check Brian. Glad to see you're feeling better. Kat, this was, and I felt like I was part of that group, and I was like, are you being hard on him, or are you like hoping for more? And I think there was a lot of frustration. That's why I was like, I got to dial it back. Like, you shouldn't hope for bad for him from the future. And I never hoped for bad for him after this. I did give him a fair share of blame. Yeah, now, he is the quarterback, so you're going to get your fair share of blame. Yep. But man, you should always hope that he does well.
And not just the quarterback, but you're also the leader of the team. The leader of the team is always going to shoulder the blame. So that's just how sports is. So.
Yep, because you're going to be, you're the one that takes all the interviews when it goes well. So you got to be the guy when it's bad. So I say that. And I say that that's not just a Milroe thing. We had a Lamar Jackson conversation. I said the same thing. Josh Allen's got to go through that same thing if you keep, losing to the same thing. It's what it is. Quarterbacks get all the glory. They got to get all the blame. So, and True. I think so too. And like I said, I've got some points I want to touch on that like a little bit later as far as the whole Milroe thing. So. Carol said we already got fired. How do you get fired on your day off, Rodg? We got fired before.
That's just the easiest way for me to do it. And sometimes I'll talk to myself while I'm in the grocery store. And what I'm doing, I know it doesn't make any sense to other people, but that's just how I do it. That's my way of making sure that I get everything on the list because I know. And even when I get everything on the list, I'm going to get back home and, oh, well, why didn't you get such and such? Oh, here we go. Why didn't I get that? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's just say, though, if you're sending me out to the grocery store, you're probably in trouble in the first place anyway. But yeah, that's a whole nother.
And yes, I have no problem calling you when I'm at the grocery store just to confirm something. I will call you endlessly. I don't care.
Yep. What's up, Eric, our Texas buddy? What's up, man? How we doing, sir? Yeah, tell him he got to go in some kind of order. You know what? Since Wynn said that, and since you said that, next time I go to the grocery store, I'm gonna try to do
No,
you're not.
I promise. I'm gonna try to do the whole in order thing.
So, guys, tune in to our. We're gonna have a short of Rodg walking around the grocery store, filming himself getting groceries. So that'll be on the channel. I know everyone's looking forward to that. So
we could do that.
I need the pictures. So I know sometimes the descriptions are just kind of general. I need the pictures. So.
Kat says she makes the list based on where the things are located. Oh wow.
Yeah, no. So my list starts off with something and then stuff gets added while you're there. And I have not had a trip yet that something didn't get added while I was already in the car.
The worst part is when you just get in the car, you're getting ready to leave and you think you've done a successful mission, and then you get that call. Hey, have you left yet?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I have never left the store without that call.
Oh, exactly.
I get that every time.
That means you got to put everything down. You got to go back in there and grab some oranges.
Yeah. Play calling was awful. He was probably worse play calling the back QB.
Yes. That's true.
Yep. And we'll touch on that game. Unfortunately, we'll touch on that game later.
Yeah.
The people out now. Yeah. And there are some people that are just like, so somebody had a good post that I agreed with. They were like, all these people that are calling for his downfall, if he goes to the NFL and does well, are you going to claim him? Yes, absolutely. So that's it.
Yeah.
He said, but Carrie, you're like smarter than both of us combined, especially when it comes to it. So we're for sure. So both can be true. We can be hard on, but hopefully he'll be conceded. Yeah. And that's how I feel. And I feel like I was hard on him, but I definitely think I was fair in the assessment of the stuff I said.
That's the key word, is being fair. And I felt like I was hard on him too. I defended Miro as much as I could throughout the season, but it got to a point to where I had to just be honest with myself and with what I was seeing on the field and on the TV as well. So Of course, for future endeavors, I want him to succeed. I want him to have a great NFL career. But what I saw from Alabama this second year, I was displeased at times. So that's what it is.
Yep, and they changed the looks a little bit. Stick to the list. Yep. If we were closer, one of us would go to the store for you, for sure.
Yes.
So. All right, Rod. So that's your offensive stuff. What I'm assuming is a little bit more. Brian, I hope not. What's your defensive grade and assessment?
Defensive, I'll go with a B+. I think the defense turned out, in my opinion, the defense this year turned out to be much better than expected. First year under Kane Womack, I was unsure about the Swarm defense, but it looked good. Even early on, it looked like.
Oh, don't tell me that.
What?
Sorry, go ahead.
I already saw it on. I got the Bleacher Report notification about that as well. So him and Jackson Dart did not have a good day. That's what Bleacher Report said. So obviously, Bo would know more. Shout out to Bo. Bo was also in Mobile at the Senior Bowl, the recent Senior Bowl. So he'll be there all week. So, Bo, we appreciate the insight, I guess. But
we'll put it up here in a minute.
Defense. Back to the question. I'm sorry. Defense. I give him a B+. I was really, really admirable, and I really, really like Kane Womack's defense. I think it really, really does good in preventing the pass. However, the downside to that is, and I hope we get better at this next season, is stopping the run. That was the one thing we had trouble doing throughout the season. Tennessee game, Vanderbilt, obviously the Vanderbilt game, obviously the Oklahoma game. Not much of the Michigan game. Michigan game, our offense just couldn't get moving at all.
Right.
But we just had trouble stopping the run, and I think that during this offseason, Kane Womack will have enough time to make some adjustments. And plus, we got a lot of key defensive players coming back. I did a video about that about a month ago. So that's going to be huge for us next season. But I give the defense a B+. I don't think they did a bad job. B+ is fine.
Yeah. I like the grade because I think they got better. You know, even when you say the Oklahoma game, they had 200 yards rushing at halftime. It looked bleak. But at the same time, they only had 10 points. Our offense generates anything. I think that's much better. But no, I think that's a fair grade. And with the returning pieces, I feel like it should definitely be better next year.
Right.
So let's see. Where were you getting? Yep. As I low down, the QBs from the playoffs naturally look good. The others you can tell have been on a break. So that was the Herb.
Gotcha.
So you said this. Brian said this about my premium. I hope not. So I guess the point I've been holding off on, but it's because any of y'all saw this Miro didn't look good today. The thing that I think for Milroe that I'm hoping helps him, but it didn't help Anthony Richardson. So, maybe I'm wrong here, but he hasn't been chosen by any offensive coordinator or staff since he's been here. Bill O'Brien famously didn't want to work with him. Right. Tommy Rees brought in his own quarterback. It was kind of forced into that, and then when Sheridan and them got down here, they, were kind of forced on him as well. So it has been a situation where everyone is trying to make him into, it's like this transmutation from a running quarterback to a pocket passer, and it's just not working. My hope is that if he gets drafted, the team that drafts him, A, sits him for a year, but B, they are choosing him knowing his ceiling, knowing his floor, and saying, we think we have the staff to work with him.
Yes.
And that's what I hope for his NFL career.
Agree. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, could take a few years or whatever for him to get to where he wants to. But I think the Anthony Richardson comp is more just based on his physical build and his physical capabilities, just as far as being a running quarterback. We were all hoping to see Milroe develop more as a passer this past season, 2024 season. And the first 4 games through the Georgia game, we did see it. He looked really, really good as a passer, especially in the Georgia game. But somewhere, again, and I've mentioned this several times on our podcast, somewhere in the middle of the season, he just kind of plateaued and just really didn't get any better. But every Saturday I would go into a game thinking he's going to get better. He's going to get better. He's going to get better. And for example, the LSU game, we won the game. Like, we dominated that game. But from a passing perspective, he only threw for like 109 yards. Right. So the passing is where he still has a long way to go. Obviously, it's not going to happen this week. But to get to Herb's point, if he gets drafted to the right team with the right coordinators, I think they can develop him, and he could be a really, really good NFL quarterback.
Yep. Sorry, catching up with this too as well. She said, Rod's trying to stay in shape, just taking laps around the.
I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier when I was talking about it. But
that's what you should have said. Yeah, there you go.
Get my steps in.
Yeah. And like we said, we mentioned with JB, Bo, good friend of ours too as well. Like Rod said, he's at the Senior Bowl. Check out his channel and everything for all his content this week as well. Two good guys, man. I hope you guys get a chance to link up too while y'all are out there. So once the vets unlearn what they've known for years, they really got better. Yeah, I agree. And Carol's asking Bo about it. Yep. He said it was a sloppy out there. Line player's pretty solid. The QB to wire. Yeah. And I agree with that, man. It's like you just meet a guy and all of a sudden y'all are trying to play. So
Well, let me ask you this, Herb. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to figure out the best way to kind of form this question is how much
question mark at the end of it. Like start off with a subject and then go through it and make sure there's a question mark at the end.
And Bo, I want you to chime in too. How much does a good performance in the Senior Bowl affect or increase your draft stock? Let's just say, okay, obviously Milroe had a bad day today. Let's just say he has a good week the rest Tuesday through Friday and the Saturday, whatever the game. Does that really increase or drop his draft stock a lot? Or because going into this, don't a lot of NFL GMs already have their mind on players who they think they want?
So I'm trying to answer this before Bo says it because he's gonna have a better answer than me. Okay. There are GM like was it Vrabel? I guess he just got hired with the Pats. Yeah. So he's there. Other coaches and GMs. So you have an idea of what you've seen, from watching games. But these guys also have a full-time, thing that they're trying to like, hey, I'm planning for more. So I feel like for most of the season, they've got maybe their scouting department or they've got their, whoever's looking to draft the players. But a lot of these guys, I feel like, want to see it in person. They want to talk to the guy in person, do some interviews, see their play. Because we're sitting there watching it, but when you're watching the game on TV and then all of a sudden you're watching it in person, that looks 1,000 times different, and you can kind of see a little more nuances about the player. So I feel like they're down there, and if you're not guaranteed a number one spot or you really don't know, I think these are the kind of places that can really help your stock. So. And what he said, he said movement can be drastic. Yeah. So that's what I said. I feel like that.
Wait. You forgot. That's what I feel. You just totally skipped over the fact that Bo just threw us the super flex. We're here in our houses doing a podcast. He's out here talking to John Lynch.
Yeah. Well, do you know why I didn't think it was a flex? Because you're talking about a guy who flies to Hawaii for weddings and has
got his own yacht.
And he's got a yacht. He's got his own stream in his backyard.
Okay.
I didn't feel like he was talking to John Lynch. I felt like John Lynch came over to talk to him. You know what I mean?
So basically, John Lynch was like, Bo, hey, Bo. And Bo was like, oh, gosh.
Yeah.
What is it, Johnny? He doesn't even call him John Lynch. He probably calls him like, what is it, little Johnny?
Like that. Yeah. JL, LJ, just mess up his name, whatever.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. So, no, that's why I didn't even feel like a flex. I was like, this is just Bo's regular. Yeah. See, everyday stuff for Bo. This is just what he goes through. He was like, hey, John, I got to take this call. Then we can talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
So, and that's always it, man. The intangibles are stuff you just can't teach. He's a superior athlete who throws a great deep ball. So.
He's 6'2". I want to say he's like 6'2", 215. His size is there, and that's a lot different than if you think about Tua and Bryce Young. Tua might look a little bigger, but Tua and Bryce Young they're pretty small. And then obviously you got Jalen Milroe coming in 6'2", 215. So size-wise, he fits the mold. Now he's just got to get the other things intact.
What you got from Mike? I'd love to go something like the Ravens and then trade it after. I just don't know, like the things that he has to work on, or I don't think are Lamar things. Lamar is really good off script, and maybe that's something to pick up. But if they're trying to turn him to help him in the pocket, I don't know that Lamar is the person. But I love the idea of him going somewhere and learning from somebody, not sitting.
Maybe Lamar could be more of a mentor, though, because Lamar coming into the league, Lamar kind of was facing the same issues, correct? Wasn't Lamar basically seen as a running quarterback, and then obviously he got better as the years progressed? Wait, so he only called him John? Oh, my God.
See, I was trying to add credibility to this statement. Yeah, even Cat's thinking what we're thinking. Sure, Bo.
I thought you had to call him like Mr. Lynch or GM or whatever. You just called him John.
Lynch. I don't think anybody calls anybody GM Lynch. You want me to call you Podcaster Rodg from now on? The rest of the show, you're Podcaster.
Actually, yes, I do.
All right, Podcaster Rodg. Here we go. So, I looked down. Did you see who won the Kentucky game? Mr. GM.
Oh crap! I have it right here, but I did not see the final score. So
look at us trying to pay attention to a podcast and missing some good stuff.
Somebody let us know who won the Kentucky-Tennessee game. Big Mike, I know you were paying attention to it. Hopefully,
it was Kentucky 78-73.
All right, cool.
Yep. All right. Mike is going to still post it though in 2 minutes.
Yes.
There you go. What's up, Rick?
Hey, sis, my sister-in-law. Oh my gosh. If anybody's ever in Birmingham, Alabama, and they need any esthetician type work done, please visit Brittany Lee Lash and Skin. I forgot the exact address. Yes, I'm sorry. I know she's like, oh my gosh. But it's in is that considered Vestavia Hills? Or what?
Cahaba Heights. Yeah, Vestavia Hills, Cahaba Heights. If you get anywhere in that area, you're good.
I voted it as the #1 esthetician place in all of Alabama. Yes, I voted it, and yes, I have my own magazine. No, you're not going to be able to find it. But please visit Brittany Lee Lash and Skin. She's awesome at her job. She's owner of the shop. She runs it. It's phenomenal.
Yes.
Please go there.
Rodg is actually that's
where Herb gets his eyebrows.
He's not just yes. That's why my skin always looks so smooth. Rodg actually has services done there. He's part of the advertising.
I got a facial there, I believe. Yes.
And butt lashes.
Now, see, when I first started promoting this, the first thing in my mind were the butt lashes, but I didn't want to say it because I know Brittany's like, please don't bring it up. But
she's gonna hate me for that one. Yeah.
Well, Brittany,
Rodg. What up, Shane? Go ahead, Rodg. Go.
No, Podcaster Rodg. I like it. Evening, Shane. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Shane, one of our Notre Dame friends. I hate calling people the Notre Dame. Just a friend who happens to also be a Notre Dame. You guys should be encouraging Shane. Shane is on the Sports and Money podcast that comes on right before us. Y'all should be encouraging Shane to get out there and do more stuff. Man. Dude is phenomenal, knows his stuff, good sense of humor, man. So, yeah, that's it. Let's see. Podcaster, Rodg, Ultimate Hype Man. Yeah, she said I screwed that one up, but that's fine. It's all good.
That's
Podcaster Rodg Weekly. I got to get you a shirt. So, Podcaster. So here's the thing, guys.
Oh god.
I was on the show one time, and the guy saw Rodg's post, and he called him Rod Jarek.
Yeah.
He saw his name on there, all posted. So what's better, Podcaster Rodg or Rod Jarek?
I'm gonna get a T-shirt made of whatever one everybody selects. We have to do a Twitter poll on this. We're gonna do a Twitter poll.
Yes. Oh, I like it. We'll post that one as soon as the game's up, and we'll repost it in the morning. So, Mr. Podcaster Rodg Ragsdale.
Oh, that's a bit much. That's a bit much.
What's up, Charmaine? Charmaine, you just missed the Milroe, not debate, but talk. Didn't look that great at the Senior Bowl, but we're trying to discuss his NFL future and what team would be good for him. So, so it's the Rod Pod.
Okay, Bo.
Are you gonna argue with the guy who calls John Lynch?
Yes,
John?
Bo lost points for that. It's the Rod Pod. No.
You know we're gonna say that next time we're on.
Bo doesn't need our points. He's rich.
Yes, that's true. That's true. All right, Raj. You gave our offense. You gave our defense. You mentioned this a little bit, but I'm gonna give you one chance to do this, and we're gonna go into awards. Okay. The coaching staff in general. What grade do you give them?
So we're talking about all the coordinators, everybody.
Yeah, everybody, both sides of the ball.
I'm gonna go B minus. I'm gonna go with a B minus. Everybody's first year here, pretty much. Well, the majority of the coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach, first year here. I don't know if I feel like I don't want to say it's gonna take time for them to mesh because they don't really have a lot of time to mesh, and they're seeing each other dang near every day anyway. But I just feel like certain things happen throughout the season that maybe DeBoer wanted to happen, maybe he didn't want to happen. I don't know. I don't know if we ever got on the same plane during some games, but it's just hard to tell because I'm not there behind the scenes. But I'm gonna go overall B minus. So,
okay. What do you give DeBoer specifically out of all that?
I give him a B. I mean, overall, I give him a B. Finished 9-4. I would have loved him finish for the 10-win season because I know this was the first time we didn't have a 10-win season since 06, 07, whatever. 07, I'm sorry. So I gave him a 9. It's not a bad season, but keep in mind we're Alabama fans and we have different standards for our team. We expect us to win every single game 58-0.
This is where this comes in. Well, yeah. From like outside people, like you lost the greatest coach of all time and you still won 9 games the next year. Yes. From the inside, people wanted to fire him halfway through the year.
Exactly.
It's just kind of crazy.
I'll give Coach DeBoer a B. I know. I think Josh Pate did his thing, gave him like a C plus.
Yeah,
I mean close to a B. That's fine. There could have been a couple of games out there that we probably should have won that we lost, but I think that'll change next year.
Yep. And they're like, oh, this second year's got to be. So here's my thing about the hot seat in year 2. Year 1, you were a top 10 team, start the year, ranked, right? Whether that's fair or not. You missed the playoffs. You go 9-3 regular season, 9-4 overall, right? The next year, you don't have a starter at quarterback, right? You start outside the top 10, and now people are like, if it's not 10-2 in the playoffs, he should be fired.
Right.
So the team is taking a step back, but the coach and the team should also take a step forward. So,
right.
I don't know. Like I said, I just think people are being a little unfair on what they thought was going on. And it's like we're not allowed to blame certain players for stuff, but we can blame the coaches for it. So I think I think your grades all depend on which side of the Jalen Monroe debate that you come in. So,
and keep in mind, we set the bar in year 1 with 9-4. So that means each year we just need to see progress. So next year I'm thinking at least 10 wins. Well, I hate to say at least 10 wins, but 10 wins and at least make the playoff. Then that third year, looking for the big one, looking for the natty.
Randy, we were just angry that you hadn't showed up to grace us with your
I know.
presence.
I was wondering where Randy was.
We've basically been talking for 30 minutes about where Randy was and hope he was okay. So now we can actually get the show started. So, Carol, not from Alabama fans.
Yeah.
How come? Oh, she skipped up. Yeah, not from Alabama friends. So, and Brian said I like Rodg Ragsdale. We're gonna put this out as a poll for sure.
I just don't like listening to some of the argle-bargle with some of the people in Bama Nation and just some of the stuff they say about him and whether he should be here or not. It's just like, again, to your point, it's been his first year. Calm down.
And Charmaine gave him a C plus. How about that?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Alpha Pools.
Shout out to the Alpha Pool. Working behind the scenes.
You ready to get into the actual groups and categories?
Let's do it.
All right, Raj. Do we want to start there? Oh, I messed up the thing. So
oh, Herb messed up. Oh my gosh.
I messed it up. So
Herb
thanks to Mike for the graphics. Herb is the one that messed it up. So Raj, I'm sending you a message.
Okay. Are you sending me a message even though we're talking to each other live?
Even though we're talking to each other live. All right, Raj, you ready for the groups, right?
Yep.
Offensive Player of the Year. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first because mine is the obvious. Of course, I'm going to go with Ryan Williams here. I feel like there are one or two other players that could have been mentioned. Obviously, his freshman had 48 receptions, 860, second in the team of receptions with 48 receptions, right behind Herb N Rodg, 865 yards and 8 touchdowns in your freshman year. First 6-7 games in the season, he looked like he could have hit 1,000 yards easy. But we kind of tailed down the last few games of the season. He didn't really get as much touches on the ball, even though we attempted to throw the ball him like 20 times during the Tennessee game for some odd reason. But yeah, I feel like Ryan Williams is the obvious pick here. With that being said, I'm kind of interested to see who Herb selected.
Herb went with the Germinator.
The Germinator, yes.
Yes.
I love that pick.
No disrespect to Ryan Williams, of course, but I feel like Germinator was the much more steady player, a lot less drops on a lot less opportunities.
All right, I understand.
So I felt like he was a guy who deserved more, and they should have fed more. And I felt like with the two of them, we had a good 1-2 punch, but it's kind of like you mentioned, it was always going in one direction.
Yep.
And not like the group. If I knew a One Direction song right now off the top of my head, I'd sing it and dance. But other than that,
someone's getting ready to chime in. I feel like with Germinator and Ryan Williams, I feel like they both could have at least had 1,000-yard seasons had the ball been spread around a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. Especially as much as we were throwing at times. So, hold
on one sec. Kat, who are we talking about here? I can't give it to him because of lack of experience. Are we talking about?
She's talking about Ryan Williams.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the thing, to her point, the route running wasn't crisp at times, and there was a lot more drops towards the end of the year. So I think those would be my points on what he's saying.
And while he was doing that, it seems like the Germinator was kind of getting more touches on the ball and kind of showing us what he can really be. So, and with that being said, this is also another reason why we're excited to see the offense next year. So that's going to be a heck of a 1-2 punch. Maybe the best in college football.
Yep, hopefully so. Defensive Player of the Year. Who you got, Raj?
Again, I'm going with I'm not gonna say it's obvious, but I'm gonna go with somebody who everybody's thinking about. Jahad Campbell should be a first-round pick in my opinion. Led the team with 119 tackles, 5 sacks, and an interception. He was everything we needed him to be this year at the linebacker position. We didn't know how that was gonna be with Kane Wolbach taking over as defensive coordinator, but he played a hell of a season. Kudos to Jahad Campbell. Wish him nothing but the best.
I've got a surprise one for you. Somebody who I thought was playing really well.
Yes.
And then their season got cut short. Keon Sabb.
Yes.
I thought he was playing really, really well.
Yep.
I thought he solidified the back end, was hard hitting, got a couple interceptions.
Yep.
I hated when he went down. The man played with a broken foot.
Yep.
In his last game. I tweaked my knee walking up the steps, and I'm good for a while. So, yeah, a lot of respect for him.
No, I could see that one too, and I think that's a good pick. I think he had 2 interceptions this year. Probably could have had double that had he played in a couple more games or whatever. But no, Keon Sabb was a bright spot, and he's returning next year too. So again, another reason why we're excited to see the defense next year.
Yep. Check over real quick, and do you have a lot? Yeah, cover. Yep. Hollywood for that first one. Okay, so next up, what you got? The freshman of the year.
All right. So I'm going to take a different direction this time. I know who everybody's thinking about that I am going to select, but I'm going to go with Xavier Brown instead of that guy. That's why I didn't do it. This is easy. I'm going to go with Xavier Brown. He started all 12 games as a freshman, all SEC freshman, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries as a freshman. Again, playing that cornerback position. We didn't know how good our cornerbacks and DBs and safeties were going to look this year. He helped us out. He helped anchor it down. Shout out to Xavier Brown. And again, I said this a million times today. Cannot wait to see him in action next year. Herb, with me taking Xavier, who did you take?
I mean, come on. You got to go. Even like I said, with how the season ended at times, like he was electric. He brought a lot of excitement to Alabama. He keeps a lot of excitement coming for next year. He seems like a Bama guy through and through, as much as anybody can be one these days. You got to go Ryan Williams with this pick.
Yeah, I can see that pick. Yeah.
Yep. So we didn't go just crazy. We just kind of did play
Yeah.
of the year, right? So Rodg, were you going first on this one?
I felt like this one is easy to Brian's point. My play of the year, Bama up, Bama down a point to Georgia. 2 minutes, 28 seconds left. Miro steps back, throws the ball to Ryan Williams. Keep in mind, the ball was underthrown. Ryan Williams had to stop, and maybe that helped out the play. I don't know. Stop, catch, jump in there, catch the ball. Keep in mind, when he caught the ball, the timing was at 2 minutes, 26 seconds. So 2:26 against Georgia. Had to throw that in there. Hi, Randy. Anyway, after he catches the ball,
you're going to get us cussed out in the group.
He proceeds to do one of the slowest spin moves of all time.
He looked like, so people are laughing when I say this. Those are the spin moves you used to do when we used to play out back. So,
me? Really?
Yes. Oh, you used to go like this, and you would go. And I'm like, I don't know how this is working because I have time to like give out a whole paragraph in the middle of spin.
I thought my spin moves were faster, but apparently they weren't. Okay.
No.
Well, they were effective. Anyway, he catches the ball that was underthrown at exactly 2:26. Oh. And he threw that. He caught it, scored the touchdown. We got the 2-point conversion. We won 41-34. I'm sorry. So that was my play of the year. You could call it was crazy too. It was a crazy play with everything that was going on.
So Rodg picked a positive. So I felt like I had to throw a negative in there, and I'm trying to see where I posted. So my play, Rodg, was one of the more negative plays, and this is from that game, maybe not this exact play.
Oh gosh.
The pick six play, the terrible slide tackle.
Yes.
Yes. There you go.
Okay,
Brian on the same page with me, right?
I wasn't going to click on this until my brother actually mentioned it. Oh gosh. Yeah. Go ahead, Herb.
So
we're being honest.
But it is because watching it in person, getting home to go watch it again, it's awful. We'd already thrown an interception that direction, so you go back and throw it again. Like we just didn't learn our lesson. Right. You're the only person that can make that tackle and prevent them from scoring, and you don't. I don't know if you thought he was playing soccer. It was just the whole play was just terrible and heartbreaking.
Speaking of that play, this kind of goes back to your point from earlier. If the coordinator called that play, why was the ball thrown like that? Like, why did Miro not read the defense and see like where the DB was or what? How did that happen?
I can't imagine that it happened. But like on that one, wasn't that the one that was going to the tight end that was double covered? Like it's like somebody didn't learn. So that's where you say your disconnect between the coordinator and the quarterback is. I don't know. But that play had a 0% chance of And Cat, that's a good one too. So
Cat and Peyton might mention the same one.
So, I picked Oklahoma one because I was there. And it was also later in the year, and playoff hopes were on the run. But you guys are absolutely right. The Vandy one, when I was watching that game, I went, "Are you kidding me?" So definitely in there too as well. Well, I mean, mine is same game. Worst game of the year is the Oklahoma game. Part of that is because we were there. But we were out there. We were in the cold weather. We'd had a great experience, but I guess go back. We start off that game, and you could tell in all of our losses, first quarter, honestly, have we won or lost. And it seemed like that one started off like the other two losses, lackluster offense, nobody keeping up. They're running the ball over us, but it's only 10-3 at halftime. And I turned and I'm like, Rodg, first drive out on the second half, that's going to tell the tale if we win this game or not. Throw an interception. They end up scoring. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it's about out of reach the way our offense looks. Then you throw a pick six. And knowing that your team is not going to come back and it's middle of the third quarter is the worst feeling. And like I said, you're up in you're not in great seats, like super close, whatever. You have a great view. The stadium was
fine. Yeah, I was fine.
It was freezing up there, and we've got the least knowledgeable fan in front of us jumping up and down this kid didn't know.
During the first or second quarter, he came up to us. He was an Oklahoma fan, and he asked us what bowl game Bama's going to. And we're looking at him like, the season's not over. Nobody knows what bowl game. And then he just walked off. So I'm like,
he goes, oh, okay.
He's like, oh, okay. I'm like, what?
It was just.
But that game
it added
again,
to the whole thing.
That game, it just felt like we were in quicksand. Once we got down, it just felt like we couldn't get anything right. We would never got back into the game. To Herb's point, even after half, I was like, okay, we're going to change things up. We're going to get back into this one. Never could. I share Herb's sentiments 100%. It was horrible. Now, shout out to the people in Norman. They were very gracious, very nice. We went out there, tailgated with them, had a good time. Shout out to Brian Roberts and the family. We had a really, really good time when we were there. Even after the game, they were cool to us.
I forgot to say that, especially since we lost, the best part of that was meeting Brian out there. I mean, I already met Brian, but seeing out there the tailgate that they took us to, that was fun. So that ended up being the best part. So who wins best picture of the year?
Picture of the year.
Herb wins best picture. All his pictures
my gosh.
amazing.
Come on, Big Mike.
Knowing your team won't come back. We were talking about DeBoer team also. God, must be frustrating. It was like you just didn't see fight in certain games. And I knew after the first interception, the pick six just sealed it. I was like, we're not coming back in this game. You know, it's
even in the Vanderbilt game, it was frustrating to watch, but we were offensively in that game. We were just going jab to jab. This game, we just laid there and got beat up. And so that, to Randy's point, that was frustrating. Knowing that we have a coach with an offensive mind and offensive mentality, we just couldn't draw up anything. So again, and then that question goes back to coordinators, coaching, Milroe, whatever the case may be. But there's nothing we can do about it now. We just hope to avoid the same type of situations next year.
Yep. Biggest surprise of the year, Raj, up first.
Biggest surprise. I'm going to go with not a specific play or game, but a player. I'm going to say Bray Hubbard. Bray Hubbard kind of came out of nowhere. He played in all 13 games. He started 6 at safety, and he ended up leading the team with in interceptions with 3 interceptions. He was a huge bright spot for our DB. What's that?
No, I'm saying look at it. People on top.
Shout out to Cat. Yeah, he was a huge bright spot for our defense this year. Again, excited to see him come back and had a heck of a season. Shout out to Bray Hubbard.
Yep.
Hope you're listening, man.
Yep. It's funny too because Stephen M mentioned him like when Keon Sabb went out. I was like, watch out for Bray Hubbard, and then he was out there. I was like, okay, you know. So I like that one. That's a good pick, Roger. Do you want to know where I'm going if I give you a negative, or do you just
go ahead? Go ahead. Let me see.
The loss to Vandy.
Oh,
that. I mean,
that's true.
Especially you're flying high at this point. You're number one. You're going to a team that doesn't even have their stadium finished building. You know what I mean?
And apparently there were more Bama fans there than Vandy
it was
fans.
like a home game. And it's like other people said with the craziest play, that interception happens. And I'm like, oh, my God. But I thought we were going to play better in the second half. The offense did pick it up. The defense just could never get a stop. It's like if you could have got the end of the year defense with that offense, I think we would have been fine. But, if wishes were fishes, the world would be an ocean, Raj. Remember that. So that, to me, was my biggest surprise. It's not like I made that up. That's an actual saying.
I've heard that before, but just, oh, gosh. Our podcast really took a step back.
Oh, Raj, that's hurtful. All right. And then what are we ending on? Game of the year.
Rod
has already broken down. No, because I think we're picking the same one. There was only one game that you were really just like pregame hype was there with it, because there was no other game on the schedule that really. Oh, I'm sorry. I know which one you're going to go with. I know. I'm sorry.
I don't think. I don't think we picked the same one. So I'm going to go
pick
first.
The same one. All right. So go ahead.
You know what? I have, and now that I thought about it more, I have 2, but I'm going to do 1A and 1B.
Okay.
And they could actually go 1A either way. Anyway, I'm just going to talk about both of mine. LSU. Prior to us coming into this game, it was a night game in Death Valley. We were supposed to be scared. There was going to be there was a tiger after the game. Brian Kelly had never lost a night game in Death Valley, etc. Blah, 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 blah. We beat them 42-13. Milroe had an excellent game on the ground, ran for 185 yards and 4 touchdowns. They were never in that game. That was my game. That was my first one. The second one that I want to mention. No, you go. You want to. I want you to mention yours first, then I'll mention my other one.
Okay. I mean, mine has to be the Georgia game.
Yeah.
It was the first game that was circled on the schedule. It was their first, big game. It was hyped up. ESPN was there.
Yep.
We had 2 weeks of podcasts, but we had never done that before. And shout out to Ray. I know he hates this memory, but doing those podcasts on those Thursday nights and bringing different people into them, man, and getting to meet different crowds. And the first one, the Georgia fans are really on us, and I was just like, man, this is the whole experience leading up to that was really fun from the outside perspective.
Yes.
And from the podcaster, like podcaster Rodg would always say, it was fun leading up to it. We had Bama beat on, just like whole build up before was already hype. The game starts off as about as well as you can expect. Then, especially if I was an outside fan, man, the Georgia comeback was amazing. And it was just like somebody had scripted the whole thing.
Yep. Remember, Kat and her son sent in a prediction video, I believe, for the game.
Yes. That was the start of that too. So the prediction videos went well. I thought we had a good mix. Then the Ryan Williams play happens. And so it's like whenever you have a victory like that, you want to have something like that. It's probably maybe one of the few games this year where I've watched one play over and over from it. Like you might, you'll say like the LSU game, whichever other game you're picking. But I'm like, I don't remember much from these games, but I'll always remember that play. So that game just had everything. So it was amazing.
Carol had a comment. She says, I don't think the mystique of Death Valley has been what it used to be under Kelly. How do you feel about that? Do you kind of agree, or do you think it's been the same, or what do you think? Because it just seemed like there was obviously a lot of there's always hypes around the Alabama LSU.
Yeah,
it just so happens
I think so too. And I think LSU will always be LSU. And plus, we always go there. It's more of a natural rivalry. So I'm not surprised if maybe a Georgia fan thinks a little different. But for us, the way our season was going and having lost the last one to LSU, for us, it was still a little bit different. So I could see why Georgia would think that. But for us, I think it was still about the same.
Yeah.
All right, what's your other one?
The other game that I was going to mention now, this game wasn't as entertaining as some of the other ones, but it was just a good win for DeBoer, was the Iron Bowl. I think it was really, really good for him to win his first Iron Bowl, especially in Tuscaloosa. I didn't want to see him losing that game because the amount of criticism he had already received would have doubled or tripled if we had lost to Auburn. So I think that was another huge win. It was a pretty convincing win for Alabama. So good win for DeBoer. Yeah. But I still think the two we mentioned were still a little higher up tier.
Yeah. I forgot to show the beginning of this. I'm not going to play the whole clip because it's longer, but
Oh, dude, look at it. They're like stuck.
The game's not even over. All right, Ole Miss, calm down.
That was our views, and that was the first.
The first storming, I believe.
The first storming.
Yeah, then they had to clear the field just for a couple more seconds, and they came back on. So. And you could see the buildup. It was like late in the fourth quarter. Everybody had just started surrounding the lower tier of the stadium and like, okay, they cannot wait to bust this thing open. So, I hate to relive it, but it is what it is.
Yep. Well, Raj, how about we relive a fun moment since we've come up with finished with the awards?
I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in
Does that make you feel a little bit better?
Yes.
Is that a better way to end?
Oh my gosh! Comments, people in the chat, let us know how we did. That was the only TikTok we ever did together.
Yeah, our only TikTok.
Thank you. Yes, appreciate it, Brian. So yeah, Herb and I, whenever we're around each other, we'll try to get some more of those out there. But that was pretty cool. It took us some time. Now we had to practice that because when it comes to dancing and stuff, that's not Herb and I's strong set. But we figured it out.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back. Well, I think you covered most of these already, right? So you're caught up as far as that goes. Yep. You also get an awesome see.
Thank you, lady.
The office says she's doing her next. So yeah. What I did want to give you. Well, we talked a lot about Milroe already, so we won't kind of go into there. But two guys that didn't get into the award segment, but did mean a lot to Alabama. Milroe,
yes.
Moore.
These
definitely had some ups and downs. But go ahead, Ross. Take it away.
No. When Saban retired last year on January 10th, I mean, these were some of the guys who kind of were the glue of the team that kind of kept the team together. them staying was just huge for offense and defense. Obviously, you know, the season didn't pan out the way we wanted it to, but it was good to make sure that some of our key players were kept intact, and they were two of them. So shout out to both of them. We hope they have really, really great NFL careers, and can't say enough for what they've done from the University of Alabama.
Yep, agreed. All right, Roger, a few minutes before we go into questions of death and a small little tribute. So we did want to – now, you know, Raj and I are both contributors to Bama Standard and a basketball program that they have on Thursday nights, 7:30 p.m. You can check out as well. So we'll probably cover this more in depth there, but at least let Raj a chance to kind of sound off. Mark Sears gets benched in the second half against LSU. Everyone's trying to read into the situation. You know, Coach Oats said, you know, after the game, we just want the guys to give us the best chance to win. Mark Sears' mom has chimed in with this and everything like that. What are your feelings on the situation, and did you want a chance to kind of address that real quick?
So to Herb's point, I mean, we played LSU, was it this past Saturday, right? Saturday night.
Yes, sir.
We won by 7. Mark Sears played in the first half, did not play in the second half at all. I think he ended up 0 for 5, 0 points. Nate Oats came out, I think, post-game and basically said, to Herb's point, we wanted to play with whoever gave us the best chance to win. I feel like maybe Sears' defense at the time wasn't where it should have been, and he was letting some people get by him. I'd have to rewatch the game just to make sure. And at the same point, Mark Sears is he's known for his offense and his three-point shooting. He could get a little better defensively. I know Nate Oats isn't going to come out and just say that was the issue, but that may have been the issue, and I don't think he was giving us the big spark that he usually gives us. It was going to all the other guys, and so Nate Oats stuck with this script and said, this is who I'm going to play in the second half, and this is how it's going to be. I don't have any problems with it. We won the game. No complaints here. Keep in mind, Coach Saban did it with Jalen Milroe 2 seasons ago when we played South Florida. You know, Jalen Milroe had played pretty bad the previous game and got benched against South Florida. Tyler Buckner came in for one step, and then Ty Simpson. Yeah, exactly. Then Ty Simpson helped us win the game. So just because it's your star player doesn't mean that your star player should be treated any differently than anybody else. I have no problem with what Nate Oats did. And I think this also means that tomorrow night when we play at Mississippi State, Mark Sears is going to come out and he's going to shoot the lights out the gym. So good for him. It's a good, maybe character building moment. Of course, you don't want to see your star player get benched. And I know Coach Mark Sears' mom had some comments, and that's understandable. That's her son, and it is what it is. But I had no problem with it.
Yeah, Kat, that lacrosse player, quarterback to lacrosse to wide receiver, I believe is his thing. And it's definitely a teachable moment. So. Yeah. And I agree with what you're saying there, Rod. Like I said, probably gonna do a video tomorrow on it leading up into the game, so you'll see more of my thoughts. But definitely wanted to hear yours. What do you think about not everyone, but people giving the whole comparison on how Oates handled Mark Sears and how DeBoer handled Milroe or didn't pull Milroe?
Interesting, very, very interesting. But keep in mind, Nate Oats has been here since 2019. He's had several seasons here. He's taken this team to the Final Four. Coach DeBoer coached one season. I think it would have been really, really hard on DeBoer had he pulled Milroe, and then we would have lost whatever game he pulled him in. I don't think DeBoer just didn't have enough wiggle room. He hasn't earned that yet. He's only been here one season. Nate Oats can do these type of things, and let's just say, hypothetically speaking, even we lost to LSU, it wouldn't have really hurt the season that much. Okay, it's just another loss. We're still going to make it to the tournament, still be a 1 or 2 seed. We'll be fine. You can't really do that in football in your first season as a head coach. You lose a game because you pull your star quarterback. The entire Tuscaloosa is coming for you. Okay, so that's just how it's going to be. And it's not just going to be in social media. They're gonna call you out and do all this other mess. So, I mean, I don't think it's a fair comparison.
I agree. Like I said, I'm gonna try to give a couple more thoughts on that. I think tomorrow before the game. But very well said, Raj. Oh, sorry, you were clicking at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Decisions are hard to make. Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. We'll end our regular segment on that. So, my personal one, is an 8.
Mine too.
I think he's going to get more of what he wants offensively in there.
Yep.
I think defensively there's some continuity there, and they've kept several players. So, I think it's him picking the right quarterback.
Yes.
Out of the 3, is going to be huge, but it's all on him. And
yes,
maybe they made a run at Grubb and that didn't work out, so now they're rolling with Sheridan.
Yep,
that's a decision. You got to live with that, and that you got to make the offensive side work. You can't be an offensive coach and the offense let you down next year.
I agree 1,000%. I think the defense is going to be just fine, if not better, next year. But to Herb's point, and this is something that we've talked about throughout the season, I think having the right quarterback in play is going to be huge. And I think maybe with the right quarterback in play, maybe the playbook jumbles up and gets changed a little bit, and maybe it gets flexed out a little more. Maybe we get to play around a little more. But having the right QB is going to be the key to our season next year, and I cannot wait to see it.
Yep.
I'm at 8 too. To answer the question, I'm at 8.
Okay. Good question. Alex Rodgers isn't looking at. I'd say it's 7. Yep. I think some people push the boundaries. Go, yeah. No, I agree, and it says a lot about Oats' his ability to go ahead and say that to his star player. So
exactly.
So yeah, Kat, same. We'll be at A-Day game. We're gonna check it out, and then we're gonna kind of go from there. But looking forward to see what happens there. So, all right, Raj. 2 questions. Okay, for the Raj's question of death, according to certain people. So, he said, "How does the coach not know who the right QB is?" I mean, one of them hasn't even made it on campus yet. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I figured y'all were going with Gunner. To me, he looked good.
Yeah.
In limited action. I mean, he hasn't been the starter for the whole year. So, I have faith in Mike picking it. I don't know why he would have to know now versus like after going through spring and getting into next year.
We'll see what happens at A-Day
right now. Yeah. So I don't think that's something you got to jump the gun on. I'm fine with it. And maybe, we're talking about speculation. They might have already picked their person. Maybe they do already know. So that's just, No, I'm talking about this next year, our quarterback battle for next year. Yeah. So last year, I didn't think he had much of a choice either. Like he was handed a certain situation. So I don't think that. No, but I'm saying going into next year, I think you're fine. So Zay Simpson hadn't seen the QS. Yeah. So like, I think it's Carol. I know on your guys's too. I remember we all talking about it last week. Everybody is just kind of interested in the spring. There's just a lot of change kind of going on.
And this is another reason why I was hoping Ty would kind of get in the ReliaQuest Bowl, regardless of the outcome. Just get him in. Let's just see what we got. But, we didn't do that, and the rest is history.
All right, Raj. The SEC one might be easy on this. And this is a variation of a question we've done. But I want to see where your travel visa is taking you. You have to go to one road game in all the 4 major conferences.
Okay.
And you know what? One road game outside of in the Power 5 too as well. Okay. So, you're going to each one of these games wearing full Bama gear, sitting in the opposing team's section somehow because you got bad tickets. So give me your teams from every conference.
SEC, I'm going to go to I want to go to Neyland Stadium. I want to go to Knoxville just because I want to be that guy is sitting in the opposing. I want to just tell those guys how much I can't stand them. That's all.
Wow. Which, by the way, if Randy's still friends with us next year, I'm gonna try and go to Athens to go to that game.
Oh yeah, he will be. Yeah, that would be a dope game. ACC, I'm gonna go Clemson just because of the rivalry we had when we played them, 4 years in a row in the playoff. I think that would be pretty cool and just kind of throw something in their face.
Instead of going to Miami?
Miami would be cool, but
would you make it to the game though if you went to Miami?
Yeah, I would.
Just saying, I've heard stories.
Oh my gosh, that was a long time ago. Let's see. Big Ten, I would love to go to. That's a tie. You know what? I'm going to say Ann Arbor. I would love to go to that stadium, visit them. The reason I'm saying that is because we have a home and away schedule with Ohio State in it's either 27-28 or 26-27. I think it's 27-28.
Right.
So those could be games that I think you and I should be able to try to go to if one of those games, or the away game, of course. Big 12. I guess Colorado just for the atmosphere.
For the atmosphere or for the atmosphere?
For the atmosphere. I mean, I'm not – the other teams don't really look – it wouldn't be I don't think it would be that much of a competitive game. But, again, with the way we played last year, it could be competitive. I would just pick Colorado. And then who am I missing?
a Group 5? You're going to Miami of Ohio, or are you going to Boise State?
Boise State. I just want to see that blue field.
I
just
knew
want
it.
to see the blue field.
That was a kind of a layup one for you. So
yeah.
All right, Rodg. I know we've done part of this one before, but I don't think we had the ditch part in here. So we're going with some former quarterbacks from Alabama.
Okay.
Work, play, live, ditch.
Okay.
And you got both the Jalen's, Milroe and Hurts. You got Bryce Young.
Okay.
And you got your boy Tua.
Okay.
You ditch. You can skip all the.
This isn't easy. I'm ditching Tua. Tua's a father now. He's not gonna be able to hang out as much as.
You're ditching your favorite out of the 4. Have you no loyalty?
I'll ditch him, but I'll get with him the following week.
What if he's calling to give you parenting advice?
I'm going to work with Bryce. Bryce is very, very calculated, very, very good mindset, very intelligent. I'm going to work with Bryce. I'm going to live next to, let me see. I'm going to live next to Jalen Hurts. I mean, this guy's going to the Super Bowl, everything. I just want to be around him. Just be like, hey, Jalen, what's up, man? Come on the podcast, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to hang with Milroe. Milroe's the youngest, still technically in school. We can hang out. We can go out and have a few drinks. Well, I don't even know if
while you guys are hanging out, somebody plays him your criticism. Then the hangout is over.
I'm sticking up for him. Oh, and you mean if they play him the criticism I gave of him?
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, man, we're cool. All right, we're drinking, right? We're cool, yeah. I'm like, take another shot. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
And this is Carol. I knew that would get her. Yeah, Carol, we're rooting for him too in Super Bowl, rooting for the Eagles. I think we're still finalizing when we're going to do some Super Bowl stuff. I know we're going to be on the live because I think we're going to do a broadcast the morning of. So we'll see. Kat said Milroe doesn't even go out. How do you know? We know Kat only knows about Terry and Arnold. So you can't trust her on the rest of these guys. So
I have no idea what Milroe does in his free time. So.
Brian, are you going or are we going? Because you can take me along for that trip, so we're going. So
we got to, let's find out when those Ohio State. I thought it was 27-28. I think I have to double check.
You know what? It hurts. Mike hasn't corrected us yet and told us when that was. That tells me that Mike is doing other stuff.
Mike is busy. Mike's busy.
Yeah, that's just that hurts, Mike. That hurts.
Yeah.
When you watch the replay, you'll see this. Talk about Terry and said it. Got it. Well, Rodg, appreciate you. Wanted to give one last shout out to some very, very special people that we missed and skipped this one before. The lovely parents who celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary beginning of this month.
Yes.
And yes, I had to get approval of which picture I was allowed to post.
You know how mom is.
Yes.
If I post something on Facebook, she'd be like, that's an older picture. I'm like, okay, mom, I'll take it out.
Yeah.
But yes, love our parents.
Man. They just been a rock for us. Supportive in every single way that you can. They've been great parents, man. And I mean, you see us too. Anybody who had to put up with the two of us all their lives, you know they're saints. So I just want to tell them, love them, appreciate them, man. Long. Still looking good, still going strong. So appreciate you and love you, mom and dad. So who are the last people? What are the last words on the way out? Mike's eating dinner while I listen. We just expect you, Mike. We're nothing without you, man. So 2026 when OU goes to our. Well, fine, we're going with you. That's all I'm telling you. I'm going to Michigan. So, And yes, Carol, we love our parents. We appreciate you saying that. So I say it every week because it's true every week. We appreciate everyone watching. We love the comments. Comments make our show, man.
Carry the show.
We always build that in, and if we could do comments and not have any material and just go off what you guys are saying, we're happy to do that.
Make it work.
If we missed any comments, I apologize. That was on me. We'll just do better next time, but we appreciate you all. Rodg, you're the greatest brother a guy could ever hope for, man, and I appreciate and love you, man. Thank you very much.
I know. Love you too, Herb, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Kat. For sure. Love you guys all. So we'll be back next week. I think we're going to take a bigger look at the SEC.
Yes.
And we're also going to try and plan, like I said, our NFL stuff. Go check out our friends who are checking out the Senior Bowl. Check out anybody who's over here who's got podcasts.
JB, Football Talk with Bo. Yes, check them out.
Yep. Check out Mike on Thursdays. Check out Randy on Wednesdays. And if I missed you guys, we apologize. We'll do better next week. There's a good one. Appreciate you too, Carol. Thank you. Carol. And Win, this is a good one to end on. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful night.
Roll Tide.